What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Albion Online video. This video I want to have an ultimate guide to fishing in Albion Online. Fishing is probably one of my favorite activities to do for the reason that it's a very relaxing, very casual activity that you can do. And you can easily do it while watching YouTube videos or while watching Netflix or whatever. So it's very relaxing, doesn't need a lot of mechanics, very simple, and it's also very profitable, especially once you start hitting that tier 7 and tier 8 fish. It becomes very profitable. You can start selling just one fish for up to like 40,000 silver per fish that you get. So it's very profitable if you master fishing. But in this video, hopefully I go over everything you need to know about fishing, so you can go off and start leveling up your fishing specialist node and your fishing node. So with that being said, to get started, the first thing I want to do is I want to show you which nodes you're going to be leveling up in your Destiny board. So if you open your Destiny board, underneath the trainee gatherer little node, if you go down here, you will see the two nodes that you're going to need to fish. We got the fisherman node and we got the fishing specialist. You can also see that the other 5 gathering nodes are completely different because they have specific their own nodes for their own tiers. And for fishing, you only have one fisherman node where you can level up that fisherman node, and every couple levels or so you will be able to get some rewards. So for example, for a level 10, start getting tier 5 and such forth. It's a little bit more like if you're upgrading your weapon or your armor. It has one node where you level up that node for to unlock a higher tier resource, or for this example, for a higher tier gathering gear and a higher tier rod. And then you have the specialist node, where this is kind of if you want to specialize in the activity. For this is fishing. Every time you level up your fishing specialist, you get an extra fishing yield and then fishing speed. So these are the two nodes you're going to be able to level up. You should focus on these two nodes as you are fishing. So to fish, all you need is actually a fishing rod. I actually am tier 7 fishing, so I can do a tier 7 fishing rod. You start as tier 3. It's a little bit different than something like ore mining or stuff like that, since you start with tier 0 or tier 1. For fishing, you start with tier 3. So just go into the marketplace and just buy a tier 3 fishing rod, and you can begin fishing. The next thing you're gonna need is you actually need a pool of water. Now in Albion Online, there are 2 types of water. We got fresh water and salt water. You're gonna be mostly in around fresh water. It depends on your location, but for example, anything that doesn't hover over the ocean, so this is the ocean of Albion Online, any territory that's away from the ocean is freshwater. So right now I'm in Wiry Forest, and you can see that there's pools of water everywhere. There's literally water anywhere you can go, surrounds the map. Then this is freshwater. It's not connecting to an ocean. Now if I'm around somewhere like the Oak Copse territory, you will see that this pools of water is a little bit more bluish and a little bit more darker. This means this is salt water, this is fresh water, and this is salt water. And there's different kind of fish that you can catch between salt water and fresh water, but it really doesn't have a lot of differences. There's nothing like a real benefit from fishing from a salt water or a freshwater. You're gonna be mostly fishing in freshwater. There might be, you never know. Albion Online is a player-driven marketplace and community and economy, so you never know if there's more demand for saltwater fish. But it's right now currently always the same. Freshwater, saltwater fishes are pretty much selling for around the same. So to begin fishing, you need that rod, whatever tier rod you have, and all you have to do is go into any pool of water. That can be in your island, that can be in Caerleon, whatever. I suggest trying to find a forest location. The reason being is every forest location map or zone is surrounded by water, so you can easily go around the map kind of like in a cycle and just continue fishing that way. Some territories like the desert territories, they have like small pools of water. I think, let's see, yeah, there's some water here, but the best territories for me, I suggest, is something, some kind of forest. So if you're in the Celadon area, the Limhurst area, you are good to go. Every kind of zone it's surrounded by water, so it's easy to do kind of a cycle of fishing. To fish, all you have to do is have the rod in your inventory, and then you can hover over any pool of water, and this bob icon will pop out. to begin fishing, all you do is you left click and you will start channeling your bob. And then once it hits in the water, all you have to do is wait for it to dip just like that. And then this mini game will pop out. The objectives of this mini game is to keep the bob in the green. Anytime you left click the mouse, that will move the bob to the right. Anytime you let go of the mouse, it would automatically move the bob to the left. So the objective is to easily just continue left clicking, letting go, continue left clicking, letting go. Until you catch the fish. You can see the fish going from the left side of the blue bar to the right side of the blue bar. As we do this here, the fish is traveling to the destination, and if we keep that bob in the green, as long as the fish is moving, then you will catch the fish and then you'll get some of the fish. Very simple. It's a small mini game. It's a little bit more interactive than if you do something like ore mining or something else like, I don't know, lumberjacking or whatever. You do have to have this little mini game. It does makes it so you have to be in the game to do this, but it's still pretty easy. And the fact that I say it's AFK, it's because fishing, you literally can be in one area and stay there for the whole entire day and fish. I don't have to move from here. I can keep fishing here forever. So I can have something like a Netflix show on my other monitor, and then me fishing here, continue leveling up my fishing. So again, I'm gonna do this one more time. So you see the bob will kind of dipped in the water. All you have to do is keep that in the green. If it goes too much to the right or the left into the red zones, you will lose the fish, and it kind of your whole rod will snap, and you will lose your fish, and the fish will just run away. And that's pretty much all you have to know about the game. Now, let's talk about actual fishing. How do you level up your fishing? Is there some kind of method you should do, and what kind of things should help? The first thing that I'm going to talk about is something called fishing bait. Fishing bait allows you, or basically gives you, a bonus bite speed. So for example, if I toss my rod here, you'll see that it will take a while for the fish to bite on my bob there, and I can continue fishing. When you have fishing bait, and there's 3 tiers of fishing baits, we got the tier 1, tier 3, and tier 5 fishing baits, that basically increases my bite rate for a certain percentage for a certain amount of charges. And those are 10 charges. So to do this, I'm actually going to do this for the tier 5 special fish bait, and I'm going to drag this into my potion slot here, and then you can check it out down here for my number 1 tab, and we'll see when this loads up. Basically, again, if actually you can read it, adds 10 charges of special fish bait, which increases the bite speed of my fish by 250%. So it's an extra boost, a 250% boost of bite rates. So that means there's going to be more fish biting my rod, but I only have 10 charges. So technically I only have quote unquote 10 fishes that I can, or 10 fish that I can catch with this fish bait. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to use this. I just pressed 1 up here. You have 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes, this little bonus will, just run off, and you will no longer have the bonus. And as you can see, if I just toss my rod here, it will kind of be like faster, so that's kind of pretty fast. It's almost instantly, and then I can begin fishing. And as you can see, it used 1 of my charges, so now I only have 9 charges left. And if I continue doing this, pretty much here, it's gonna be 250% faster. And then there we go. And then this is using another charge, so I only have 8 charges left. Once those 8 charges are done with, I will lose the buff, and I'll have to consume another fishing bait. Now, if you're starting off, I do want to say and suggest you not to get any tier 1 fishing bait, because it only gives you 50%, and it's not worth it. If you are starting to level up fishing, always use from tier 3 to tier 5 bait, especially for that tier 3 bait. It gives you 125% bite speed. So don't ever use tier 1. It's pretty much useless. No one really buys it or uses it. Always use at least tier 3, and if you have that silver, use tier 5. Another thing, another kind of consumable that you can use by fishing, is something called the seaweed salad. And if we drag this into our food slot and we check out the stats, what this does, this increases your fishing speed by 10% for 30 minutes. So this is not bite speed. This is not the speed that a fish will bite your rod or bite your bob. This is how fast that fish goes from the left side of the blue bar to the right side of the blue bar. So if we eat this, so this is from number 2 right here, we'll get our bonus here for 30 minutes. We got an increased fishing speed of 10%. And if we toss our rod here, and it should catch pretty fast because we have still 8 charges left. It also depends on the tier of fish that you're catching. So if I'm catching a higher tier fish, then the bite speed would be longer. So you have to wait. So we got that. And then what happens is, this is actually a very tough fish, so that's why it took so long. That fish going from the left to the right, as you can see, that will be 10 times faster, or 10% faster, not 10 times faster. So sometimes you get stupid stuff like rough stone. You can also have chances of getting some treasure or getting some cool stuff, but you only want fish. The main thing you want to when you're fishing is fish, but you might get like something like stupid like stone and might ruin your stuff. So one other thing I want to talk about is something called the fish pools. Every once in a while you'll come across some fishing pools or some fishing nodes. So here we got a big fish pool, and here we have a small fish pool. These are pools of fish which they basically, it's a faster way to catch fish. They're all grouped up here. As you can see, I basically instantly got a fish hooked, and that's pretty much what you want to be looking for anytime you fish. And the strategy I actually want to share my strategy, is again, I go into a forest location where my map is surrounded by pools of water, or by water, and I literally start from one area. So I'm starting here from the west side, and I make my way around the whole entire map fishing. And I just do a cycle. I continue doing the cycle until I'm done fishing, and then I go home or go to Carolion and sell all my fish. So that's what I like to do. You could fish anywhere. Again, you can fish in this pool of water here or whatever. You literally can do it anywhere in the map, but I suggest doing it in a forest location because you can just make a simple loop around the zone, and then you're good to go. So we got another man here fishing. Let's finish up this node right here, and I want to talk about something called a journal. I really haven't talked much about journals in this channel, as well as laborers, but I'll talk about fishing journals for now. So one extra way to make some cash, literally doing anything, gathering or fishing in Albion Online, is by buying journals. I don't want to get too much into details about journals, but basically, when you begin or when you're buying your stuff to go out to go fish, what you want to do is you want to buy a, not full, just basically a blank journal. So I have a blank Grandmaster Fisherman journal, and what happens is anytime you fish, that journal will gain fame. So as you can see, I currently have 2,200 fame out of 6,640. And as I fish and I get fame by fishing, this journal will continue filling up all the way until it's a full fisherman journal. And you can sell these off for a huge profit. I bought just a blank fisherman journal around for 15,000 silver, and once I finish this journal, I can actually sell it up to 40,000 silver to 50,000 silver. So that's some kind of tips. A lot of people don't know about journals, but some guilds and a lot of players buy journals because they can give these journals to laborers, and the laborers can go out and catch fish for them or do that activity for them. There's journals for ore gathering, there's journals for lumberjacking, any kind of activity or gathering activity, there is a journal. So make sure you buy 2 or 3 blank journals. I suggest at least tier 6 to tier 7. You don't have to have like some kind of thing unlocked. You can easily just purchase them and continue filling it up. So make sure at least tier 6 or tier 7 blank journals. Fill them up, sell them off in the profit when you're done fishing. That is another extra way to make some money fishing. There's also a very fast way you can level up fishing, especially if you have silver. So fishing is different. There is a method that you technically can level up your fishing without actually fishing, and the way is, and if you're really power leveling, I suggest you paying attention to this and taking into account what I'm about to show you, and that is you can eat your fish, and anytime you eat your fish, you will get fame towards your fisherman node. So if I'm gonna drag my tier 5 fish, I'm gonna drag them into my food slot, and then they'll come down here, and as you can see, I have 11,730 fame for my fishing specialist. And what's gonna happen is I'm gonna eat this fish, and you'll see I get 45 fame. So now I have 11,775 fame. So eating your fish does give you fame towards fishing, or that fishing node, so you can literally level up your fishing from tier 3 or tier 1 to tier 8 by just eating fish. So there are some people who go out and go into the market and they spend a couple million silver on fish to level up the fishing. It is a little bit more expensive to do it that way. I suggest doing it kind of both, going off fishing by yourself, getting that fame for fishing, and then eating the fish that you caught, and that's how you power level fishing. If you're gonna lose some silver because you could have easily sold the fish, but you are probably leveling, and once you start hitting that tier 7, tier 8 fish, it becomes very, very profitable. And some fish, I would have to say, if I want to do a quick tip, eels are very, very profitable. They're expensive because they are used to craft a premium food called the eel, the eel stew. So especially the deadwater eel, once you start hitting tier 7, the deadwater eel is so profitable. If you catch only 10 of these in an hour, you make 400,000 silver. Just 10 fish. Just toss. That's literally one fishing bait. That's a tier 5 fishing bait. Just throwing it, 10 charges, and if you get lucky with 10 deadwater eels, that's 400,000 silver currently, because currently these eels are selling for around 40k, but sometimes they go up to 40, 50, and back in the day before free to play, they were selling for 60,000 silver. So again, it's very profitable. So if you do want a power level, make sure you catch the fish, eat it, and power leveling that way. Higher tier fishes will give you more fame. So that fish right there, the tier 5 fish, gave me 45. Here for the tier 6 fish, I'm gonna get somewhere between 60, 65, if I'm correct, 60. And if I eat my eel, which I don't suggest, I do suggest to keep your eels and sell them because they sell for good profit. I'll get 75, even though it's only tier 3 and I just ate tier 6. The game kind of knows that eels are very rare and very valuable, so it gives me more fame by eating those eels. With that being said, that's pretty much all you need to know about fishing. Fishing is a very chill, relaxing. It does have a little mini game, interactive, but I want to share some tips. First of all, never stay in one area too long. As you can see, fishing is different than gathering. So there are people, especially gankers, and maybe since I'm putting this video out there might be some people who will look at the opportunity of ganking new fishing men or fishermen that are starting to fish. Make sure never to stay in one area too long. Move around. You have the whole entire zone to move around. So change out the little pattern. Instead of moving from right to left or from west to south, whatever, move from west to north or something. Change it up a little bit because fishing, sometimes you can get very much trapped. As you can see, I'm kind of trapped. If they squish me through this tunnel here or this little bridge here, and then they squish me through this small thing here, I'm stuck. I'm very much stuck here because sometimes fishing, you're kind of pushing the edge of the map, and then you only have one way to go, which is towards the center of the map. You can't go left or right. You just have to go straight to the center of the map. So make sure you move around a lot. Make sure you don't stay in the same location too long. Which kind of, it kind of makes you move around also, so you can continue looking for fishing pools. So for example, there's a pool here. So if I really want to, be very profitable and very fast, I'll get a bait, I'll eat a stew, and then I will go around the map looking for pools, ignoring or fish. Generally don't fish without pools if you want to power level it super fast. Only fish by pools. So once I'm done with this pool, I'll just continue moving on and going around the map. So never stay in two areas too long. Also, use siege camps if you can. These are siege camps right here. They store a chest, and if you want to store your fish safely without going back to your Carleon or your city or your island, store your fish in a siege camp, and then that allows you to continue fishing. Yeah, basically fishing or fishermen are very juicy to gankers because they're very easy to gank. Very, very easy. But if you start getting the fisherman gathering gear, which I really didn't talk about much, but every time you level up from tier 4 to tier 8, you get something called the fisherman gear, and then you get to unlock the cape. The fisherman gear, all it does, it gives you stacks. It stacks up on something called just stacks up on gathering yield for that specific tier. So right now I have tier 7 and I've stacked up a total of 30, and this improves each stack improves my yield by 1.25% for tier 7 fish or lower. So that's anytime you're wearing gathering gear. If you're a gatherer, if you've been playing this game for a little bit while, you might know that you need gathering gear because of that extra gathering yield, which gives you more fish. So that's pretty much it. Beware of gankers. Gankers see fishermen as very juicy because there's not a lot to escape from. There's only one location they can go to, and that's towards the center of the map, especially if you're doing the method of going around the map, the little zone, which is what I recommend. And that's pretty much it. Use bait. Make sure you use bait. Make sure you eat your eel salads. Your seaweed salads. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If it was very informative, make sure you hit that like button. Comment below if I missed any kind of things. One other quick thing: don't eat pies and don't eat omelets. Pies do not work for fishing. They're only for gathering. It does give you that load capacity, but it doesn't work for that yield. So there's no pies. Omelets are still useless. Make sure you bring the bait, and then you bring the seaweed salad. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. Comment below any suggestions for upcoming Albion Online videos. If you did enjoy it, make sure you subscribe because I'm trying to pump out as much Albion content as I can. With that being said, I will see you guys later on my next video. Peace.